Why do you think the comment section blew up so much? And what were some of the struggles with those early days on YouTube?
Mhm. I think that it was multifaceted. Comment section definitely filled a niche, and I know that it was like a niche that where there was a hole because I felt it as a young person. Like, comment section really kind of grew out of necessity in a lot of ways. I had even it was if you watched the preview to the Sean Ryan episode, he put, which I don't really know if he like fully described, but at the top of the preview there's like a video of me and I'm doing like this little, like, I have my like leg up and I look like I'm in a studio and I'm talking about like this cultural issue. That was a pilot that I filmed back in 2021, and I pitched it to like Young Americans for Liberty and PragerU and whatever. I was like, I think that there should be a show like this because I'm a young woman. I just feel like I'm pretty like normal middle America, and I listened to people like Dennis Prager, and granted, I was more like politically inclined. I was interested in politics, but I listened to, Ben Shapiro, and I would watch his like debates on YouTube, and I would listen to Jordan, whatever, but I didn't see anybody that was like speaking to me. Like, there were very few women and there were very few young people. Like, Will Witt was the only young conservative that I saw. Not even like conservative, but just like not liberal. And I felt like there was that gap. So I came up with a show idea where I would have, like, kind of inspired by Emma Chamberlain, actually, where she had all of these, like, fun cuts and memes and, like, sound effects, and it was very, like, poppy and silly and fun and attention-grabbing, because I know for myself that it's hard to hold Gen Z's attention. And so that was part of it, and I created this, and PragerU didn't pick it up, and it just didn't, like, have a home anywhere, and so I was working at Young Americans for Liberty as just, like, a marketing strategist and doing their social media videos, but in that they had me be in a lot of their videos, kind of like at PragerU, where I was just filming like TikToks for them and that kind of thing. So Daily Wire had seen me, and then when they ended up bringing me in and we had a meeting, their idea for a show from their social media team was very aligned with what I had designed in this pilot, and the reasons were the same. And the entire team that worked with me on comment section at the beginning, they were all young people. They were all like in their early 20s, and they were like, we don't have this kind of show that's like a reactionary news show that's young, that isn't like some 35-year-old guy in a suit. It's not some like woman in a pantsuit on, Fox or AP or whatever it is. And we want to create this. And they had also been thinking about like the fun edits and the fun memes, because they were like, we need something that's like attention grabbing, that's funny, that's humorous, that's lighthearted. So it was like, we all kind of had to have a meeting of the minds. So I think that was probably indicative of a broader trend of people just wanting something like this. So I think that helped to take off immediately. We did no paid advertising. We put no paid behind the show, anything like that. And obviously it helped that, the Daily Wire circuit was helping promote it. But I also had a very different audience. Like, my audience very quickly became like not the Daily Wire fan. That became like a very small portion of it. And it just took off. And I think that that kind of perfect concoction of people didn't have that at the time. I think there's a lot more of that now, which is awesome. There's tons of shows that are like comment section, especially on the right, more reactionary shows, more streamers have popped up, which is awesome. I think more content is better. I love when people turn on a camera and talk about their beliefs and show people that they're not alone in having these common sense, conservative ideas. So that really took off. And I also think the humor aspect of it really spoke to people, because politics in this culture war, especially in 2021 and 2022, was so intense and was so angry, and it still is, but it was like a different kind of vitriol in 2022 where, everybody was slinging insults right and left. Cities were burning. People were marching. It was awful. It was hostile. And the political news and the cultural podcasts I would listen to were all very intense. And it was like, the world's going to end if we don't do this. It's really serious. And they were serious on both ends. Nobody was having any fun. And I look at politics as kind of like reality TV, and I always say this, it's serious, but it's also insane. Like, a lot of the stuff that we went through over the past 5 years and the issues that we've been dealing with, they're kind of crazy. You can always find humor in everything, and I think I'm probably more adept at this because of my childhood, where it's like I went through a lot of pretty serious stuff, and I was able to find the light in it, and I'm even, I'm able to look back on my childhood and laugh at some of the insane things that I witnessed with my brother and my dad. And it's just kind of like, that's life. If you're not laughing, you're crying, basically. And that's kind of the approach that I took with culture and politics of, this is objectively serious, but there's also a lot of hilarious stuff. We just need to be able to stop and say, we're kind of going crazy here. And I think that's why my audience grew to not just be like super conservative people that were interested in politics, but just normal people and even people on the left who are looking around in the world and going, why are we not admitting that this is just insane? And like being able to laugh at this because maybe it's not always as serious as people are telling us. Maybe it's not always as serious as people on the news or the big Politico podcasters are saying. And I also felt that need. Like I enjoyed doing the show because I had so much fun because I was able to laugh at things and watch funny videos and find humor in it. So I think the humor and the format played into it. And I also think there's, and this is something that's so weird to say, but I think that there's like, I don't know, I resonated with a lot of people. I think it's sort of what we were talking about earlier, which creates problems because then I have to have the conversations of, what do I want to share and how public do I want to be and what do I want to keep private? But I was very open and I went into Daily Wire saying that. Like, I want to keep a social media presence. I want to invite people into my life. I want to be able, I don't want to just sit behind a mic and talk about the news. I want people to know me for who I am because I always felt like if I knew who somebody was and knew sort of their story and, their background, I would be able to kind of resonate and trust them more because I could watch talking heads all the time. But if I don't really, like, what makes you tick?
Yeah.
Like, what built you into who you are? Like, why do you have the values that you have? And I always thought that was really important to share. It's like, I didn't just come out of the womb, like, fully formed with these ideas. Like, I learned them over time and I have life experiences that have led me to these and have caused me to change my ideas. And so I think me being very open and upfront about a lot of things and involving my personal life and my childhood and stories and things that friends and I were talking about. Like if I was doing a cultural issue about young people, I would bring in stories, things that my friends and I were dealing with, which you didn't really see on, you don't see that on a traditional like political show.
Yeah.
And so it became less about like politics and more about Brett and humor and common sense and kind of giving people a safe, funny place in the world where they could go.
Now, you might have noticed that I'm someone who pays close attention to trends, and lately I've been noticing cowboy boots everywhere. It's pretty clear that a great pair of boots isn't just for the ranch anymore. They pair incredibly well with everything from casual outfits to full-on business attire, and that's why I'm excited to announce today's sponsor, Tecovas.
Have you ever wondered if you could pull off boots? I'll tell you what, I absolutely have. Let's be honest, you owe it to yourself to try out Tecovas. Tecovas makes handcrafted Western boots with over 200 meticulous steps for a perfect fit right out of the box. Whether you're a lifelong cowboy or a first-time boot buyer like myself, you'll feel right at home in them.
A great pair of boots really just pulls everything together. With Tecovas, you don't just look put together, you feel put together. And trust me, people notice. And right now, you can get 10% off when you sign up for email and text when you go to tecovas.com/iced. That's TECOVAS.com/ICED. Tecovas.com/iced.
Plus, Tecovas backs every pair with their Best in the West guarantee with free returns and exchanges for 30 days. Seriously, guys, I genuinely recommend Tecovas, and if you think you can't pull off cowboy boots, see for yourself. You might be surprised. Thank you so much, Tecovas, for sponsoring this episode.